Hello, welcome to part 2 of the radio installation in a Mazda 3. So we have this cheap radio from China, an Android based one, and we're going to install it into this Mazda. Now there is a radio in there right now, this is the old radio, and we are going to replace it. I do a fast forward on this one because it's pretty easy to just pry this little cover up, pull here. The important part is to pull to the left here like that. That is like a little hook there at the end, and then you just unscrew those two Phillips screws on top, and that basically are the only two screws that hold the radio in place here. And you have to understand that you remove the display what is on top there too. So it's all one piece. And I'm using my beloved plastic tools here to have a little bit more leverage there on those two mounting tabs, and then you just pull it out like this. There, and we are going to remove all the wires in the back. The wires have like most of them have like a tab on there where you have to push in before you pull out. Not so the antenna on this one here. From behind it, you have to push in. In the middle is where the tab is. I'm going to show this again in a second. This one has the tab on top. Push the tab in and then pull back on the wire like that. And then you can remove the radio. So the next step is to insert a GPS antenna, because this radio will also have a navigation system, a GPS system, GPS-based navigation on board. That's what you get nowadays with those computers. You have to remove two more screws, and then we're going to lift up this whole thing. So this gets lifted up a little bit and then pulled back. You have to be a little bit careful. It is helpful when it's warmer weather, where the plastic is not as brittle. There's another contact in the back here. But you go up a little and then pull. And the same way you put this thing back in. So let's see, there's a connection there. You don't have to remove it, you can if you want. The GPS antenna comes with tape. And we go out with a wire to the right. You need to be aware of that you cannot kink this wire at all. Do not bend or kink it too hard. This will be super bad for the GPS antenna. And then just hide the rest of the wire on the back somewhere. And then we can put this cover back on. So we have to put those little tabs in the holes. Don't push down, you have to go back and forward and back a little bit. Let's see here. Pull it back, there, and then forward towards the windshield. Push, and there we go. That was very easy. So we cannot forget to put those both screws back on there to fix the vents that cover here. Two Phillips screws. And then here on the radio you need those two brackets. They come up there like that. The clips basically, so that you can clip it in, it doesn't release easy. There. We can put our harness into the factory harness, the extension here. There we go. Then we want the USB hanging out this little drawer there. So I'm going to drill a hole into the drawer to be able to route the USB wire through this. So when you want to play music from a USB stick, for example. So this is the easiest. You don't break any car parts. It's just set here, like that. Go through there. And that you don't pull it out too far, I would put a knot in here You know, then you can't pull the wire out too far. That should do it. Right, now we need to connect all the wires. We started out with the GPS antenna. As I said before, we need to be extremely careful. GPS antennas are very difficult and easy to break, so do everything hand tight. Then we use the other antenna cable for the FM AM antenna. That one, and then the main power plug here. The black connector goes here by the fuse. It's a little difficult to hold. It goes in there until it clicks. And the USB cable into the USB plug. And then we go from there. When the cables are all connected, you just push the whole thing in here. The clips clip into the holes. And then on top we fix this with the 2 Phillips screws. Now, the more money you spend on the bezel, the better this will fit, I guess. I am picked here the cheapest I could get. So the fit is not 100% as good as a factory OEM situation. But it fits in there. And we just want to see how this whole thing works later. What the performance of the system is. But for now, I think it's not too bad. Yeah. So the final step then would be to cover up this area here on top of the radio. And after that, we can go on our first test drive, and that would be then later part 3 of this video and how this whole thing works during driving. I assume we won't see any big problems, but I want to show you how this thing ends up at the end, performance-wise. Alright, thank you much for watching, and I hope I see you next time when we talk about this radio working in the vehicle. Yeah. See you then.